right, we had supper, got some salad fixings left. As I was picking lettuce, I realized we got some leaves that aren't doing so hot because we've gotten some rain and whatnot. The dirt's gotten splashed up on them, so I'm gonna go through here, pick out some of the stuff that isn't any good anymore and take it down to the birds because might as well make some eggs out of it since I can't make anything else with it. Alright, I realized I didn't show you all of it, but got it cleaned up anyways. That's a lot better than it was because we had a little bit of extra that needed to come out of there. Oh, wasn't quick enough. A little hummingbird came and was talking to me while I was taping this. I can hear the girls down there. They know it's dinner time and they're yelling at me already. So let's get going. Before we go down to the hens, I might as well go ahead and check on these tomatoes because they have just exploded. I've got them tied up, but even where I've tied them, they are much taller than the ties now, and so I'm gonna have to move the ties up and might have to get some more ties brought up, but kind of hard to see with all the trees behind, but they are getting very tall. Lots of fruits. Love that. It just means more I don't have to buy for my family at the grocery store, and that's what this whole mission is about, is being able to get it so that we don't have to go to the grocery store and I don't have to try to clean all the pesticides and whatever else that they're using on our food that we don't want. Unfortunately, we live in a small area. Trying to buy organic is very, very hard. I try to get as much as I can organic, but they don't have a very big selection. Here, I've got some onions in here. I don't think I showed you those last time. Looks like they're actually going to come back. They were looking pretty straggly. I wasn't sure we were going to actually get anything out of them, but I left those in from last year because they weren't very big last year. They weren't even worth picking, so might look through these tomatoes, get them staked up, pull off some branches that are touching the ground so we aren't getting disease into them, and make sure everybody's doing okay. All right, other than branches touching the ground, one of the things we're looking for is suckers. So you have your main branch that comes up, and then you got your branches that come off. And then in these little crooks here, this is what's called a sucker. So these need to come off. You got another one here. These will end up yielding you more fruit. You keep these pulled off from here. You won't end up with so much greenery. You'll actually get more fruit setting. This one got a little away from us. That's a little big one. That's the main pole here. So this big long piece here is actually a sucker. We've had so much rain lately that everything absolutely exploded. I was out here last week and went through and did all these, and as you see, the ties here, and that was at the top of the plant, and that's how much it's grown since then. So it's close to a foot and maybe 3 inches. A lot of growth in the last week. Seeing quite a few comments online, people asking if this is normal on a tomato. As you see, the roots are clear down here. These don't come in until up here. These are because they're trying to find more nutrients, more soil, more water. So they put out these little things trying to, if this tomato wasn't put up, it would be along the ground, and it would actually put out more roots out of these. So as long as we don't get any dirt on there, no roots will form, but it's looking. Your squash plants do the same thing. If you've ever planted squash, wherever they touch the ground, those put out a root. It helps give the plant more nutrients to be able to grow and be able to get as much water and nutrients as possible. I try to get the suckers when they're this little, not when they're a foot long. Alright, keep on trucking. Alright, things from a distance probably do not look much different. Tomatoes might be standing a little taller, minus this guy who he has outgrown his stick. I need to get on the husband to get me a bigger stick because he has outgrown his stick and he is now pulling it over with him. But we had to get a bigger bucket because we outgrew with all those runners that little bowl. So yes, chickens cannot have the tomato leaves because of their nightshade. We get that. We understand that. We still give it to them. Our chickens are smart enough that they don't eat it. They're not like some human beings that just don't use their brains, I guess is the best way to put it. So they will leave it. But it will get scratched into the ground. It will become compost. And the compost will bring in the worms. And the chickens will eat the worms. So no matter what, it's going to be taken care of and it'll be eaten. Another question I see a lot on the internet is all of these mushrooms. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone. They're fine. They're not going to hurt your garden. It's actually a sign that you got good soil. Your soil's going through breakdown and producing nutrients for your plants and whatnot. Leave it alone. Don't dig it out. Don't throw it away. Soil doesn't go bad. It just needs amendments. I don't get that. I see that all the time online. People asking why I'm got to replace the boards on my raised bed. Do I need to put new soil in there? Why? Just keep on adding on top of it. Every year, we just add on to the top of ours. Our beds are built hugelkultur style. The bottom, probably 2/3 at least of our beds are filled with wood, leaves, anything you can think of that's going to break down out in the woods. Then they are filled with not dirt, compost. Everything is compost. And they do wonderful. I have all kinds of mold issues, and as you can see, everything still thrives, even when it's not supposed to, like this bed. This bed is actually in hot manure. That soil I almost let set for the year and did nothing with until next year because I could actually see the pieces of horse manure in it, and I figured I was going to kill whatever I put in it. So I went ahead and put it in there and just went ahead and threw in zucchini. And it's thriving. We keep our food in here in this galvanized garbage can. During the summer, I ferment my feed. So I take the Miracle Whip jar, or gallon jug. I fill that, and then I take it in, and I have a 5-gallon bucket. I put it in there. I fill it with water. I add the water that was left over on the time befores, and it starts the fermentation process quicker so that I can use it the next day. I get about 3 days worth of feeding the chickens on this gallon of food. I'll take you in there and show you that. Alright, this bucket is not the prettiest on the outside, but I don't really care. I don't use the outside, I use the inside. And to keep it locked, I usually have my hands full, so I just step down on the top of it, so the top gets dirty. But that does not affect what's in the inside. So, on the inside, we have that gallon of food. I just actually did this last night, so it's fresh. I put the water over top of it, and I took what was left of the water from last time and threw on top of there. It is all covered in water. I can reach most of my hand all the way in there before I actually touch the food. I had run out of herbs to put on top of it, so I went and got those tonight. So we're going to throw in some red pepper flakes, some black pepper, oregano, and garlic powder. I'm going to stir that up in here, and then I will scoop out their food for tonight. So tomorrow their herbs will be fermented, but tonight they're going to be a little fresh, but they'll still work. All right, I usually just add this by throwing it in there, but I'm going to try actually measuring it out tonight. I'm guessing probably about a tablespoon per day, so 3 tablespoons of each herb. We'll see if my adding by heart has over yielded or under yielded what I feel that I probably should be doing. I usually just shake and hope for the best. Okay, there's our red pepper. A little garlic powder. The one that gets me is the black pepper. I don't like black pepper. I actually was kind of against it, but I've seen so much online that you need it for the capsaicin. You get a fit in there, so we're going to have to do it this way. So I put some black pepper that I had in there before. I haven't had any problem eating the eggs, so we have that one. Black pepper. Get that one. Trying to keep away from the mites, especially. I actually might break down and get some stuff to worm them, just because we do allow them out in the yard, free ranging. Not near as much now that the garden's planted, because they are my biggest pest in the garden. I have to watch them, because the minute I turn my back, they are in that garden and trying to eat all my vegetables. And then my daughter's flipping out because they're in there. So they're a headache to me, and by doing that and listening to her scream about it because they're eating all of her vegetables that she wants, because she very much is our fruits and vegetables kid. She will actually, once the garden's up and producing, she'll be out there eating her body weight out of it. I actually already took my first batch of broccoli out of the garden, and she was so happy when I brought that into the house. She had to have me make some dip so she could sit right down to eat her broccoli, because I think she's been waiting all year to just be able to have fresh fruits and vegetables again. It's good to have stuff from the store and be able to get it from the store, but it's just not the same. Alright, I mix that up with my hand. It's a little messy, but nothing that water doesn't wash off. No smell to it, really. I mean, now I put the herbs in there, that's all you can smell is black pepper and garlic and whatnot, but other than that. Alright, now that I got my hands washed, I have just my small strainer. I brought it down here. It's now used just for the chickens. I just load this up and strain it out and take it to them for the night. If I don't have a whole lot of table scraps, I usually give them just a little bit more than one strainer full, but Lid goes back on. And I just step on it to seal it up. And it's good to go. Till tomorrow. Alright, now that we got our food, our egg basket, and all of our produce, leaves, all that stuff, down to the chickens we go. We started building this about 3 years ago. My husband and I have been together for 7 years. Knew we wanted a family. Had been married, both of us previously before. Been unsuccessful at having children. Both of us wanting family. We were unsuccessful at having children. Had a couple miscarriages. But we knew we wanted this lifestyle. And more than anything, we knew we wanted this lifestyle. Tried looking for a house. It was during the COVID boom. You couldn't find anything. So we put several offers in on places. Always outbid. Could never find anything. This place finally came up, and it was like home. As soon as we seen it, we had to have it. I mean, we needed out of where we were anyway, so we needed it in a different way, but this place was home. So we put an offer in, were accepted. I started cleaning the place. Before we'd even really signed on it, I came in and cleaned walls and scrubbed carpets and everything else, and we were getting ready to actually do final signings and everything else. And we'd been trying behind the scenes to get pregnant and everything, and it really wasn't happening. And then while we were in the middle of all of that, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter that we have now. It was kind of like God had said that no other place was right except for this place. And once our bid was accepted and everything else, we found out we were going to get this place. We also found out we were pregnant. We had been trying kind of behind the scenes and everything else, not really thinking it was going to happen, but we continued to keep trying. And after, between the two of us having 8 miscarriages behind us, our daughter was so hardly fought for and so wanted. And to now have her is the greatest dream come true. We moved in here while pregnant and everything else. I did nothing as far as moving in except unpacking boxes. We were very cautious about what I did to contribute and everything else. We moved in August, so that first year was pretty well shot for us as far as starting to plant and growing and everything else. We spent that year on pins and needles. Very much bawled our eyes out when we finally got to hear that heartbeat, and thought that would be the end of it and we'd be okay. But we continued to wait for that other shoe to drop, because that other shoe kept on dropping. Between not being able to get pregnant and not finding the correct house and being able to get a house, and COVID was absolutely horrendous because, well, kept all of us apart and kept us from getting the care that we needed. And so we spent those 9 months on pins and needles. The day that she was born was the greatest sigh of relief that either one of us has ever taken, because we never really thought she was going to be here. So now we strive and do everything we can to be able to give her the greatest life possible. Chickens are still trying to get feathers back because we had 2 males that were very mean. Some of the girls are recovering beautifully, some of them are not. They're all looking good health-wise and everything else, but I'm going to worm them just to give them a little extra boost. Just trying to figure out what I want, because along with doing everything we can for our daughter and doing the best we can for her, we are no chemicals in our house. I strive very hard not to have anything that's going to affect her hormone levels and everything else, because I'm a PCOS survivor, and having PCOS is horrible and it's rough, and I don't want her to have that. She already has to deal with it because of heredity, and I don't want her to have to deal with it because I gave her more stuff on top of it. We are dye free. Like I said, we don't do any chemicals. So we're very conscientious of what we bring in and what we use in our house. I do a lot of research on it. So you eyeing me up? I have a feeling you're probably Ruby. Nope, that's the yellow one. We have one that's red that has a red band on her leg. Our girls are banded. And we have one with a red band on it. She's kind of like a puppy dog. She follows me around when she's outside. What's up? Trying to figure out why I'm not just giving you your food, huh? So that's where we come from, and that's why we're doing this. And we have a lot of woods on our property, so we're in the middle of trying to get that cleared so that we can bring in pigs, because that's our next adventure. We went on vacation, and on our way down to go on vacation, we stopped and looked at pigs and found the breeder that I want to use to be able to bring these pigs home and be able to get our next foot in the door of doing this homesteading thing. I see a lot of people online. It seems like they just add, and I don't. They obviously have more time, but I'm doing this by myself and can't really do a whole lot of it with a toddler. The only reason I can talk to you guys as long as I have tonight is because she's in with her dad. She wanted daddy time, so you guys got me, and I'm able to provide you a sight into what we're doing. She's probably the worst looking one. I think our roosters really liked her because she's about pick bald. Some of the other girls, they look beautiful. All right, I'm gonna get them fed. We'll go see what we got for eggs. Okay, now we're at the nesting boxes. We'll see what we got. My hand's a little dirty, but eggs come out of a chicken's butt. It's not like it's the most cleanest spot that they come from anyway, so we got 3 in there tonight. Once I get that one closed, I can hang it down here on the end. Need to figure out some kind of hook system to be able to hook the eggs up. I have made the mistake of hooking it on the one next to it and shutting the door and dropped all the eggs on the ground. So learned the hard way on that one. Thankfully, they never go to waste. Just throw them into the chickens. 2 more, so we got 5. None in there. Okay. We got 8 hens, 5 eggs. Last night we had 6 eggs, so just about an egg a day from each hen. They're supposed to be doing about every 24 hours, so not too bad, really. All right, I'll go get these put in the refrigerator. Alright, thankfully we have a refrigerator in our basement, so that becomes my working refrigerator. Even though we only get between 4 and 6, 7, 8 eggs a day, we cannot keep up. I sell as much as I can. Unfortunately, around here, people want eggs for just next to nothing. So it's hard to sell them because we feed our chickens organic food. My husband's allergic to corn, so we do corn-free. As I said, I try to keep my daughter from getting PCOS. So one of the other things we try to stay away from is soy. So our chickens are fed organic, soy-free, corn-free feed, which is expensive. I have actually, when we went down to look at the pigs, found a new place to get feed that'll be less than half of the cost of what we're spending now. Only problem is we got to drive to go get the feed, and it's a couple hours, so it's gonna, but to ship it in, it'd still be cheaper than what we're spending, but not by much. So we might as well, even in this economy, go ahead and go get the feed. I'm gonna get enough to do several months. That way we only got to go down once or twice a year maybe. These buckets that are in here, before we left on vacation, my timing was so impeccable. We actually got half a cow and half a pig, and I order all of the fat to come with said animals. Well, we keep our freezer stocked pretty good, so we got half a pig and half a cow. I did what I could of the fat that came off from the cow because it was in this huge bag. I kind of ran out of buckets to put it in, room to put it in, time to do it. So these 2 bags are actually still lard that I need to render. This shelf here is pork. This is beef. We got hamburger up here underneath everything else. We had gone without a cow and pig for a little bit, so we have some store-bought and stuff here that we're kind of picking around because it isn't really as good tasting. We get our pork, we don't do in sausage, we just get the ground pork, and we add our own seasonings to it that we like. So we can have whatever kind we want. Nice pork chops, some bacon, sirloin steaks, any kind of cut that you could think of. We have in here, and this is where we come to be able to get it. The one thing I do buy from over there is their Italian pork sausage. I spend more and buy it out of the case. That way we can still have our pork sausage, our ground pork. That way we can make our own sausage because pork goes quick. Ground pork goes quick around here. Back outside, do a quick walk through the garden. Not gonna do any weeding and everything else tonight. Hopefully it'll stay nice for tomorrow. We can come out and do that later because I need to get some of these leaves taken off the zucchini so that the fruit can be exposed, and take those in and throw them to the girls too. Let them do what they want with it. Got some weeds coming in. Need to check and see whether or not my green beans decided to grow. Green beans for some reason this year, The seeds just did not want to grow. I had seeds all the way down through the middle of this, and I've got five of them that volunteered to grow, and they are not very big, so hopefully they continue to grow and I can get some more thrown in. So we're a little early in this season yet, so we'll get them grown and hopefully still be able to have decent green beans, because I love green beans. Beets are still coming on nicely. Got those in kind of late, but hopefully we'll still get something out of them. You never know until you throw it in and let it grow, I guess. You have to do some rearranging with cucumbers, it looks like. They're just growing like mad weeds. Trying to take everything with it. The little tendrils grab a hold of everything and pull and yank on them until they can find a way up. I got that system up here. Better lighting tonight now that you can see it. Used shower curtain hooks, plastic ones, and hung it up there, put string down, and have some screw ties in the soil that they're hooked to so that they can grow up. I figure they want to continue growing. They got all the way down the line that they can go. I haven't figured out how I'm going to pick them yet, but that'll come later. We'll figure that out later. I did tie one to a tomato plant, see if I could use these to make the tomato plants grow up instead of having to stick everything. So this is another one of our experiments. Cucumbers trying to pull over the garlic. I need to get more stuff ordered. Always something. Of course they need. Oh, there's suckers taken out too. We'll work on those tomorrow, hopefully. More good soil. Got all kinds of mushrooms growing everywhere. Everything's breaking down. Oh. Well, it must not have been tied up good enough. It broke off or fell down at least. We'll try to tie it up tomorrow and see if we can get it to continue going. Tomatoes are doing wonderful. Keep on hearing things, and after having the bear here the other day, I was a little scared, but the dog's out on the porch eating a bone, so she's not worried about anything. Nothing going on. Hopefully the younger broccolis will take off. Chickens keep on getting in here because the end is open still, so when we let them out, they tend to come right around the corner and jump in the garden bed, and poor broccoli has paid the price. We got a couple little pieces of broccoli that are coming on. Try to get those tomorrow. Need to get my dill before it goes totally to seed because it's already starting. So I've got to get that before it goes to seed. Cauliflower is looking beautiful. Some of these have so much leaves on them, and yet there's no fruit. So fingers crossed they'll actually do something other than produce leaves. These beds, amazingly, were full at the beginning of the year. Between the rain and everything else, they have settled a foot already. They are a foot down. It doesn't take long. This bed is a new one. If you watched our video from March, I think it was March or April, this bed didn't even have dirt in it yet. My husband finished it just in time for me to plant, and it takes a couple years for the dirt to stop settling in them, for you to stop having to add. So this year we will add more trees or more leaves because, well, we got the leaves. So when they fall, we will fill these beds to max capacity with leaves. And then next spring, we will get more mulch brought in and fill those beds back up again. This bed here is 3 years old. So it's actually settled a lot since we filled it too. Like I said, he had every bed filled right to the top, and this bed is starting to have some issues because it's starting to lean out. We put this bed here, because it got a lot of sun, but also there was a lot of water down here. This ground used to be so wet. It was like walking through swamp. And we put these beds in there. They suck up a lot of water. It's all wood. It's all rough cut wood. The beds are all filled with fallen trees that we have cut down ourselves, cut up, filled the beds up to, they're probably around in here, filled with wood. And then we just keep on piling material on top, and the wood that's in there keeps on decomposing and giving us good fertilized soil, but we keep on adding the manure on top of it. So it's got a lot in here. We've brought a lot in, and I don't know if you can really tell. Get back here, see if you can see the lean that's going on right there in the middle. We aren't sure what we're going to have to do to be able to correct that, but the soil has gotten soft and everything has settled, and it's not liking what we've done, but we're going to try to fix it. We don't know exactly how we're going to fix it, but we're going to try. So until it comes to that point, we're going to keep on growing.